I fall into sleep. With the experiences of countless exams during my life. Those are mainly situated in my middle school time. The classroom for us is also a kind of examination room. Sedentary for a whole day waiting for the task paper dispensed to us. It is the memory of a condensed image. We have a sink, lectern, groups of chair and table in similar structure, yet all embody certain amount of damages. I have that big windows, curtains plus the clock and that slogan epigram above that blackboard for encouraging us to take furtherance on the study pathway. It could be where the task paper trajectory taking place, inclusive of the task paper design, examination, invigilation, handing in, mark revealing, assessment, prize conferring, and ranking. The strenuous labor from the students cannot be neglected within the trajectory which is extant no doubt throughout the whole study journey in my middle school time. I can define myself as a student, yet an institutionalized student, trained as such as till now I have just considered that tenuous identity anew. The student embodiment of the human being is indubitable, derived from certain epistemological faculty primordially. It is an inborn gift to be student, as an instinct worthwhile to be inhibited. While in the discourse of being student, there must be an objective role called teachers as an agency to fulfill the instinct in efficacy. Whereas, teacher's identity is in risk of being institutionalized, thereby the student would be institutionalized as well. Though this fact contains the potential to be criticized, it is my choice whether to do such or not for the sake of so-called the emancipation or truth. I fall into sleep. It is my nostalgia to this classroom scene, as a kind of parody in accordance to my repeated memory unconsciously toward that potential performative space in my middle school. I am embodied into an identity of a student and create a gaze orientated toward the surrounding. I observe and participate the whole trajectory of the exam from student perspective, sitting on that chair made of rusty metallic material and polished wood. I hardly fall into trance when I learn in this performative space, though I really want to, moving my sight out of the task paper and textbooks and observing around. What are others doing? Did everyone really look at their paper homework and hold the black or blue pen? We relinquished the opportunity to achieve a kind of flauneur as everything is ongoing and every present has elapsed. We have to intermediate between our identity to be both a participant or observer of the whole happening, before, during, and after the exam. Yet the labor of being an observer is hard to be recognized as we immerse ourselves within the trajectory situations. At least myself, I did not realize the sense to be performative during my middle school period as till today, when I try to recall and restore every happening and actions by others. I just realize that observant quality contained. I fall into sleep. We have 2 blackboards set in the classroom. They have different usages, one for homework and reminders, one used for lectures. When the exam started, the teacher walked into the examination space, writing the exam information on that blackboard, ensued with her invigilation act. Invigilating from one student to another, in circulation presumably lasting for the whole exam. Maybe she will take a rest during the invigilation, as those are the only things examiner could do during an exam. Even less in some formal exam, as they have to pay attention to the students. Because of how the result of that exam could have lifelong impact to the students. The students always sit in pair where your desk mate derives from. In every exam, we have to pull our desk apart to prevent cheating, yet latently forms alienation. It is a form of culture within each classroom. It is the seduction in the end, as the process of the assessment cannot be penetrated by us. Finally, there are only a numeric mark revealed, and we have to capitulate to it. As the resistance is pointless toward that repercussion. Nothing can be changed, especially the mark itself, as the representation of yourself within that class social community, in certain hierarchy, potentially impacting your social engagement in this community. Like the memory, I deal with it after it appears in my dream, unconsciously. I deal and have to deal with the repercussion, otherwise I am not coherent in myself. I am condensed within this repetitive dream, condensing too much into this environment. I don't know when I will wake up. My awareness of this performative space is incomplete. It might be too deferred now when I try to recall it, but it is still a lived experience to me. Irreducible, irretrievable, irretraceable, irreversible, and irrecoverable. So, it is a symptom, from how significant and dramatical it can grow when I unfold that condensation. It is like walking in the darkness, as you have to recall from how it looks under brightness to act with, otherwise in situ. It is a silhouette in the end. You recognize the profile of that object and then recognize that object. As there are more than 40 students in one classroom, my memory cannot embrace all those tables within the environment. It is the outcome of condensation. Those tables floating create flux, ambiguity of recalling beyond the mere remembering. Condensation of various personal associations within those countable elements, functioned in my unconsciousness, gives a mythological aspect of my restoration. I have to decipher my unconscious language as why that classroom always appears in my dream. There must be some wishes hidden within this performative space to me, unable to be fulfilled in my middle school time, so repeat and repeat but censored. I fall into sleep. My tutor is looking at me then, to remind me the time and space. And the class is over, and the exam is over, with the condensed memory, and I wake up.